Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I must apologise for the long delay between videos lately. The weather here in California, as I'm sure a lot of you are aware, it's been crazy hot, and to be honest with you, it's been too hot to video. And I like to do these videos, enjoy them, but to be out here in 105, 110 degrees, it's no fun. So weather's taken a turn down now in temperature, so I thought I'd get over here and film the next in the buyer's guide series for the 108 and 109 bodied cars. I've got my 4.5 here today and the 6-cylinder, so let's have a closer look, more concentrating on the interior of the car and what to look out for, and talk about some expense that you might incur if you have one that needs some work. So let's get started. We've done the underside in the first video, and so let's move on into the interior and kind of get some idea of possible costs to rectify any issues or problems that they may have. So on the left we've got a 1968 280 SE, which is obviously the fuel injection straight 6 with the M130, and on the right we've got the 280 SE but with the larger V8 4.5 for the American market. So we'll jump back and forth. Let's go over to the 68 right now. We'll start on the interior and various things, and we'll jump back and forth as I see fit. First things first, let's go for the doors, shall we? Door seals. You want to check your door seals, because I can tell you from experience, you don't want to mess with the aftermarket door seals. You want to buy the good Mercedes rubber, because they will last you a long time. The aftermarket ones is just essentially garbage. The fit and the feel and the quality of rubber is just completely inferior. So save your money for the seals. Now they can run, from memory, probably in the $150 to $200 mark per door. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but that's what I think they're running. And also check the, close this right now, the what's called windlace. That is this cloth covered steel channel material that runs around the door here. This one, yeah, it's seen its better days. It's a little worn and little stringy things come off. Now each door is going to require around 6.5 to 7 feet of that. 7 feet maybe on the long body rear doors of the SEL model, and a pretty much complete disassembly of the door to refit that. It's not a straightforward easy job. So, and from last time I checked, that windlace, you'd have to check with Mercedes-Benz, but they're selling it a per foot cost, and you know that can start to add up if you're doing all 4 doors, and obviously labor as well. And also on the wind wings, the quarter lights, this rubber as well. Luckily this one is in great shape, so I don't have to worry about that. Door panels, check, make sure that the vinyl and the top caps are in nice shape. These top caps can have sun damage over the years. Luckily these ones are fine. This one's missing its wood at the moment, because I had a little area I wanted to refinish the wood on the driver's side door just to match it. It was looking a little weather worn, so that's been off of this, but I do have that. A lot of these cars are missing their threshold plates. This one isn't bad on this door, but on a couple of the others they are going to need replacing. And this is the original brown one for this car. They come pretty much, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, just in black now. And so you may see that. That's not the end of the world if you see a missing threshold cover there. A little fiddly job, but can be done by the the dedicated DIY guy. These seats are what's called MB Tex. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with that. It's kind of essentially bulletproof fake leather material done by Mercedes, and these are in wonderful shape, no tears or anything. They feel comfortable, and I really like them actually, but I do also like leather. But anyway, each to his own. So those are really nice. Also with the 68, the earlier model, this has no headrests. So obviously they were added for a safety issue later on, probably 69, is it 70, for safety. But I actually like it without headrests. It gives a more unobstructed view all inside the cabin, and plus this does not have a sunroof. Now the sunroof is wonderful, lovely big sunroof, which I do have on the other model next to me, but you do lose a few inches in ceiling height. So if you're a tall person, that might be something you want to take into consideration. Might seem nice to have a sunroof, but not only you lose a bit of height here, is also the extra maintenance, and if it's got issues, that's another element you want to take into consideration, because they not overly complex but can be fiddly to get working. So moving on here, you want to check this material on the surround of the door aperture. Most of the cars I've ever owned, this has always stood up very well, so this is something I think is a very durable material, but take it in consideration anyway. Obviously, just like a lot of these older cars, you're going to want to make sure the dash pad on the top is in nice shape. If it's cracked and dried and broken up, that's another knock on the car. These aren't easily available. They do come up for sale from time to time, but they can be pretty pricey. Again, also with the windscreen bow up here, they can suffer in the corners each corner with a fail of a windshield rubber, and then the delamination of the veneer on the bow here can lead to issues and consequently leaks inside the cabin. But so if you see some delamination on this wood and some problems here, that's a good indicator the windshield rubber's failed. So that's dials, all self-explanatory really. This has got 93,000 on this car, which is very low mileage. I actually bought this car at 59, believe it or not. This is a 4-speed, the M130 4-speed. The gas tank, the oil pressure, temperature, brake, tank reserve, you know, if you get a little low on fuel. And also the it says generator there for battery charge. That will kind of glow if it's ticking over very slow. We've got on the 68, we've got a light switch here for the rear passengers and the lights here, and also we have this center piece here in the earlier models. My friend Stone was with me the other day and he had not seen that before, but I have actually seen that center strip that ran through the earlier car dashboards. I kind of like it. So that is there on this. We'll look over at the other car and show you the differences. Now getting to something really important, the heater controls here. As you can see, if you look closely, my heater control knobs are broken off. It's one of those jobs that I've been meaning to get to, but I've had so many things on my plate, I haven't done it yet. And it is quite an involved job to get in there, removing the gauges and accessing the back, removing the controls, making sure the flap operations are good, lubricated, all this assembly clean, new levers attached and lubricated and reassembled again. It is quite an involved job, and I hope to do a video in that in the near future with this car, so I finally get round to repairing them. But not only the broken handles, is that the operation of the fan blower, that is the top left lever, and it's got 3 speeds, move to the left. You really want to make sure that that fan unit is working, because that fan unit is buried inside this dashboard very deep, and it's a Goliath job to repair that. So if that's not working, you might be weighing up the point, unless the car is extremely strong in many other aspects, you might want to walk away with something like that, because that is a very involved job. So you've been warned on that. So that's that. I've got the nice Becker radio here, mono, got the single speaker for the 68. Air conditioning down the bottom. It did work until one of the pipes came loose for some reason on the compressor and lost all my Freon. So, but it does work. It's an R12 model. And so, but to be honest with you, air conditioning has never been my big priority anyway, but it's nice to have a working air conditioner. Some of these cars didn't even come fitted with that. So this is a Thermo King for this car. And moving over, the dash is in really nice original condition. As you can see, the electric window controls are on the doors on this model. In the other car, which I'll show you, they're on the center console. Okay, so tell you what, at this point, let's jump over to the other car and we'll look at our comparisons and things to look out for. Oh, before we forget, don't forget to check your headliner condition, because that is quite an expensive and involved job to get done. Again, if it's in good shape, another plus for if you're looking to buy one of these cars. Along with any wood damage to the upper bow, obviously assess the condition of the wood of the main dashboard. This car, when I bought it, was 59,000 miles, believe it or not. I've got all the records to prove it, and just the overall condition and the person I bought it from, there was no reason to doubt that. And it has a very, very tight feel to it, this car. So take in consideration not only this damage up here that can also wick down to these corners, and these are very complex veneered corners, and that's no easy task, trust me, to make those repairs. So if you've got a good clean dashboard, it doesn't have to have the best finish in the world, but if the veneer integrity is there, that's one tick for you, you know, because it's a lot of work to take it out, but you can refinish it yourself and get it very presentable. And when you refinish it, again, this hasn't been refinished, this dashboard. This is totally original finish in there, and it really, really is a handsome dashboard. Let's jump over to the other car, which is in good shape, but not as good as this one, and we'll show you some of the faults it has. Okay, very similar door, but leather panels. These are leather panels on this, the 4.5 model. Similar design, similar color, brown. This does have its wood in there that I refinished some years ago, and a couple of the screws have actually come out. You might want to look at the screw fitment on these trims, because sometimes they do come adrift and then the trim hangs off and can get damaged. Again, the windlace and the door rubber on this car is not bad. Door rubbers are probably going to need replacing in the next few years, but they're not bad. So as you can see, here's the threshold. This is what I'm talking about, and that's all the glue adhesive from the original threshold that peeled off, and that's something I need to do. And as you can see, this sorry excuse for a seat here, this is one that I do want to reupholster. Seat kits are available for these cars, and I believe, don't quote me on this, but for the 108, 109 body, the two front seats including armrests and headrests are going to set you back probably in the 1600 mark for the kit, and you can do it yourself if you're eager, and that obviously brings up the car beautifully. And the same in the rear, I think it's probably the similar cost, but anyway, so, and these are leather seats, and I really do like the leather. It's got a lovely smell to it, lovely feel when you get in the car. This does have the white steering wheel, but it's in a sorry old state, cracked and everything. I want to find a new black one for that. So these steering wheels, if you can find a car with a uncracked steering wheel, that is a big plus, because they don't give these away, these steering wheels. And check also the pad condition as well. They tend to get dried and broken, and they can be quite expensive. A good steering wheel for a 108 in nice, very presentable condition will probably set you back $400 or so. So let's jump in and take a look. Now, a slightly different dashboard. It's missing that centerpiece that runs the whole length of the dashboard of the 68. So, and again, it's a nice dashboard in nice shape. I refinished this some years ago and it's standing up nice. I didn't go crazy. I'm not overly keen on the over-bodied finish of cars that have been refinished. I like to try and keep it slightly open pore, so it represent the older dash finish. So that's obviously to one's taste, but again, fitted with an air conditioner. I think this is a Thermo King as well. Becker radio, Corona radio, that I still need to hook the antenna up since I repaired the front of this car. Again, we're back to the switches again. Now, I did take this one out and these are fully operational. This top left one operates the fan, if you can hear it. That's 1, 2, 3, and that's the 3-speed. And these are the heater controls. Move to the left, move to the right for heat, and into the middle for cool. And the top right slider is directional. You can see the arrow off to the top right there points down, and then the other way will bring it up to defrost the windscreen. The switch to the left of the radio there is to operate the sunroof, and obviously ignition switch there, and cigarette lighter off to the top right. This is a 3-speed automatic 4.5, And as far as the difference between these two cars, this is really a long-legged car. It would be good for you if you're looking to purchase a 108 is to drive both types. And most people tend to like the 4.5. I'm funny, I like both of them for different reasons. The six cylinder has real character about it, great in the country lanes, revvy, and you really feel like you're driving it. You know, this is sit back, relax, and whip down the freeway, you know, kind of car, long-legged car. Different personality altogether, even though it's essentially identical body. So that's something you might want to test out. We can talk about all the engines, ups and downs for both of them in one of the next videos coming up. But as far as the interior, slightly larger light switch here. This switch here you won't see on all cars. This is called fanfare horn. So you pull it out for one, push it in for the other, and there's two pairs of horns in the engine bay to give different sounds for when you're in the city or the countryside. How very civilized. And okay, so obviously the switch for the rear map for the passengers at the back here. Some of these cars, the SEL model, came with two reading lights in the back, which is a bonus. This just has the one. This one here is the defroster, rear defroster, if you have it fitted. And this one is for speaker balance from, I think, forward to backwards. It's been a while since I've used it actually, because I don't listen to the radio too much when I drive. So I believe that's fade forward and backwards, but don't quote me on that. Hazard knob here. Sometimes the hazard knob was a rectangular knob. This is just the round one. And the gauges, which are pretty much identical to the other car. And this does have a stereo system, so we've got speakers down here on the footwells, up here, and in the back shelf as well, so which is kind of nice. Wood has been refinished on the top as well, so that's in good condition. And also this dashboard is in very nice shape as well, with no cracks. Then moving down to the controls. On the 108.45, the later 108s, the window controls are all here, and this is locking out for the rear passengers, for the kids and stuff, you know. So make sure all of the windows are operating. I forgot to point that out, because if they're not operating, you're going to have to pull the panel, possibly repair or replace the regulators, because on some of these cars, the regulators with the later chassis are not as durable, and they obviously never get lubricated, and so they suffer. Essentially they get very, very stiff, and it puts massive stress on the chassis inside the regulators. The other car next to us has steel chassis, the earlier ones, and they're much more durable. So that, make sure the windows are operating nicely. They'll probably operate slow, so if you do get a car and they're operating slow, I highly recommend removing this panel, pulling the regulator, cleaning all the old lubricant off the runners of where the window goes, and re-lubricating it, and the window will shoot up and down so much more efficiently, and you don't run the risk of stressing the chassis of the regulator. Now both these cars are column shift cars. Some 108s have the shifter on the floor. Okay, and then if they do, then the armrests are a little shorter. These are set back about here on those types of cars. This one has just this big open tray. I'll show you what I did on the 6-cylinder next to us in just a second, but kind of handy, just a catch-all really. Catch-all of crap as well, to be honest with you. But anyway, let me go over. I just want to point to this area, something to look out for in the seats. Okay, we're on passenger side now. Again, you can see where the threshold plate is missing. Another job for me to do in the future. So anyway, these seats are obviously very, very short, and you can see this is a cardboard trim that sets in this channel here, and that is supposed to be sewn to the skirt of this seat. And over the years, drawing out and the use, I mean, this is now 50 odd years old, 52 years old now, and it's just given out. So the new seats will sort that problem out, and there's all the old springs under there, and that's a job that I'm going to be doing in the coming future when I save my money to be able to buy them. Rear seats are actually not in that bad a shape, but these definitely need doing. Back to the quarter lights, you want to make sure the operation of the quarter lights is nice and smooth. The mechanism inside is beautifully made and very, very robust, so you shouldn't have many problems with that, but just check the operation anyway. This is a central locking car working off a vacuum tank hidden under the, I believe from memory now, it's the driver's side wheel arch area, and it works on storing vacuum in a tank. And so make sure that the door locks are open and closing without any problem, and also the rear gas cap as well and trunk for this car. Moving to the back, that's a little stiff. Now this is a short bodied car, so not as much room as you'd expect in this car, even though it's a good sized car. If you get the SEL model, you get 4 more inches of legroom in the back, which is really nice. So I had a 4.5 SEL long body years ago when I first got one of these cars, and it was beautiful. In the long bodies cars, because the rear doors are longer, you may see a buffer in this area, like a little rubber grommet, and that, I believe, because this is a unibody car, it tends to rack a little bit, is to stop squeaking and lock the door out essentially. So nothing really to discuss in the back here, all self-explanatory. Seats not bad really considering the age, and as you can see now, I've got the roof panel off because I was doing some work on the sunroof, but it's difficult to see. But with these headrests and the lower roof, it really does make it a little bit more cramped in this car. Now, as far as the center console, this car normally has a sort of an hourglass type of tray here. I made this unit just because I was sick of things rattling around here. And it's got a little storage facility here. I kind of fashioned this off of the rear trunk, and this has been great. So that is not something you're going to see in a regular 108. And what else in here? I think we're going to be fitted with the Kangol belts here, the funny lap belts that you get. I believe they're fitted to Volkswagens as well, and I don't mind them. Passengers find them a bit irritating, but I think they're fine. Just check that they're in good shape. The blower motor for the AC is down there on the kick plate right there. And let's see, now let's move back to the back of this car and discuss the rear. There you go, this is the position from the rear seat. You can see really nice and open, nice all-round vision. This is what I like about these older cars, not just the 108, but the slimmer A-pillars gives you a great broad view of the road and the surroundings, unlike modern cars that have these giant A-pillars where they contain the airbags, and I find them kind of irritating, to be honest with you. So anyway, so on the rear, not much really to discuss here. You again check the conditions of the seats, the rear panels here. Some of these cars did have a magazine rack at the back here, which is kind of nice. I think those were the SEL models. And obviously check your carpets, check underneath all your carpets. Don't be shy about pulling them back, checking for rust on the we discussed it in the first video, the inner rockers, and essentially, especially down that area there, that corner area, pull all the carpets back there. They're easily pulled out to check the floor pan. Now, back shelf here, you can see mine's peeling. I get a lot of aggravation from my buddies about that. It's another job that I need to get to. It's just that the adhesive has given out and I need to remove this shelf, which isn't too bad of a job, and glue that back in. But this is all in good shape. Got a few pine needles here just because of where we live. This is the map light, and as I say, in some of the cars, I think it's the SELs, they had them here on both sides, which is a nice little extra. Now As I say, these are the 6 and the 4.5. These cars come in various configurations. The least valuable, I believe, is the 250S with twin carburetors, and that's, I think, came out in 66. But I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong on that. As far as personality, getting back to the personality, my wife loves this car. She just loves the openness, the brightness inside this car. She's not as keen on the 4.5. That's all a matter of taste. Some people find the M130 equipped with this rear differential, the way it's geared, and the ratio escapes me right now. I think it's 4.02, I believe, or the high 3s. Can get a little bit revvy at speed, you know. But what I find, I end up driving the car around 65, 70 tops, and it hums along all day, and it is such a sweet ride car. And we'll get into all the details of running gear that makes it feel tight, but this and the other car feel really tight, and there's many reasons for that, and that will come in one of the next videos. As far as the interior, getting close to the end here, as far as trying to do a cost analysis and an assessment of the interior, but this is what can eat up some dollars. If the interior is extremely tired, you know, for instance, cracked dash, torn up seats, ripped headliner, destroyed carpets, door rubbers, wind lace gone, you know, that's a heavy load, and more than likely if a car's like that on the inside, the rest of it is going to be pretty shabby too. So try and break it up into 3 areas. The underside, like we spoke in the first video, interior, and running gear, engine, and obviously body as well, you know, paint and condition that ways. Along with replacing seats, another cost that you might want to take in consideration if you're going to get one of these cars is the carpet kits. I mean, the carpet kits for these cars I think can be had for anywhere around the $600 mark, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but all of them are available from German Auto Tops in Hollywood, down in Southern California, and they, you know, it's a match to color and the stitching and all that good stuff. So these carpets, luckily in both these cars, are in really nice shape. I put these black mats in just to protect the original carpet. Just another little detail on the 109 cars, you're going to have a chrome threshold plate along here, which is a little different, a little fancier. And I know we spoke about it before, but when you're looking at your doors, look at it as whole one unit. You've got your rubber seals, you've got your wood, you've got your rubber around your quarter light, you've got your wind lace, and definitely check your drainage holes. I know we spoke about that in the last video, but check those, make sure there's no rust down there, and also the operation of the regulator and the smooth operation of the lock. So there's, you know, spend some time on the doors, examine the doors, because there is some cost involved in getting these doors up to snuff, working nicely. But in all the years I've owned these cars, I might have been just lucky, but most of the doors and regulators that I've had have worked very well, if not just needing a little lubrication. Funny, speaking about this actual door, the regulator started to give me some problems just the other week, so that's one for the future. I'll be pulling this door panel off and we'll go and fix that and see what's wrong with it. So that'll be a good video if you do end up with a car that has some regulator work needed. As I say, you want to make sure you weigh up the cost of everything involved in getting the doors ship shape. Obviously the driver's side door is going to be the one with the most wear and tear on it, and you, if you're lucky, get away with the passenger side, front and the rears being just a little bit of a spruce up and maybe a lubrication on the regulator. So that's something, obviously, if you end up putting $300 or $400 a door in, that adds up pretty rapid. Another thing I forgot to mention, the headliner. Okay, so that's what you want it to look like, nice and neat. Okay, not coming away from the rear molding there. So let me show you in the 4.5. Not so fortunate. It's another thing I've got to get to, but classic hanging down. There we go. So hanging down, and basically it's come untucked from the rear windshield molding here. It's coming because what it's wrapped around a lip there, and then the molding put on. So if that has happened, the window has to really come out, and then at the same time you'd put a new molding on. And again, you want to make sure it's Mercedes rubber, because it's so much better and more durable, and fitment and everything you're guaranteed with. So again, so look at whether this is not torn around, it's just hanging down. So I'm actually going to have this rear window taken out, a new rubber put in, and then I'll glue that back in and then have him refit the rear shield. So that's about it for this one, I think, guys. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and please put down in the comments anything you want to know more about, and come and join us on the Mercedes Rescue and the Mercedes Maintenance group on Facebook, and you can ask questions there, you know, cost of things. But it's good to have a kind of a breakdown of what these cars cost to get back on the road, not necessarily in show condition or anything, but just, you know, to be a good daily driver. Well, I hope you enjoyed that part 2 of the buyer's guide for the 108, 109. A lot of what I've spoken about can be applied to other models, as I've said before. It's just a kind of a guide, and if you do your research, and especially on possible cost to rectify some of these issues before you go out there, you'll be more informed. And the interior has got a lot of little aspects to it that could make or break a deal. Something that might offset it might be an extraordinarily good body, good undercarriage, and well-maintained engine, but it has a few downsides to the interior that might be worth considering taking care of. This 4.5, I'll tell the truth, I bought this for around, I think it was $3,500 nearly 11 years ago now, and when it showed up, my wife nearly had a cow, because admittedly it had been on a trailer from Colorado, so it was kind of filthy. But in talking to the owner and getting lots of photos, I kind of went for it, and it's been a wonderful car. It's been flawless, as I've said, flawless as far as mechanically, never let me down, except for a battery once. And it's been a wonderful car, and it's more like a rolling restoration. I drive it every day, all through the winter. I mean, it sees snow and everything, but I just maintain it, wash it, I rust treatment it, and just working on it. So this is a car that is used daily. So if anyone tells you they can't be used daily, I'm sorry, I don't agree with you. They might not be for everybody, certainly not for someone that doesn't do any mechanics, put it that way. That's someone that probably shouldn't have one. But someone that doesn't mind getting their hands dirty and learning from the community of Mercedes owners, I don't see why not. I mean, they were daily drivers back in 1970, weren't they? So, and then this guy, I do drive as much as possible in the good weather. If I get caught out in the rain, it's not the end of the world, but I try to avoid driving that too much in harsh weather. That gets put away in the harsh winters, you know, and that's a wonderful car as well. So they both bring a lot of enjoyment, and so I hope you're getting a lot from these videos, guys, and please put down in the comments if I've missed anything that someone ought to know about, that I may well have missed something, or if you've got any extra questions about details of what I've spoken about today, put them down there, and please hit like, share, subscribe. It will help grow the channel and all that good stuff. So I'm thinking in the next video, let's hit the engine and drivetrain of both these cars. We'll talk about the 4.5 and the 280. Those are the ones I own. Obviously there are other models, but we'll talk about costs that incur and things to look out for as far as that aspect of the car. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one, and enjoy this cooler weather. All right, bye bye.